Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today is our mid-month coffee chat. So if you don't already have a coffee or something to drink or something to snack on or whatever, we are going to chat goals, where we are so far at this mid-month point for the goals that we've set for the month of June. We're gonna sip on our coffee and we're gonna kind of talk through it. So let's dive right in. So one of my last videos, I showed you that I love a cute cup. It absolutely helps me just enjoy drinking coffee, but sitting down to do some work, whatever, when I have a cute little cup. So this is part of my like romanticizing my life. I got ready. I've done a lot of the things that in my former video about romanticizing your life to achieve your goals. I absolutely have done that today. I've taken time to get ready. I feel good. I've got a coffee. It's in a cute mug and here I am chatting goals with you. So let's do it. So the way that we're gonna go through this is I want you to get your goals out, whatever they are, whether you make a vision board, whether you just write them down on paper, whether you have your planner, whether you're using a 12-week year, whatever it is, get that out so that you can look at your actual goals and we can sit down and we can think through the progress that we've made, not made, things that we still have to do, things that we've already accomplished, all of that. So for me, this is pretty much the same every single month when we sit down to do this, but I like to literally go through each of my goals and think, where am I on that goal? How are things going? What needs to improve? What's going well? What am I maybe not liking? What do I like a lot about it? Or is this a goal that's not even important to me anymore, even though we're only halfway through the month and we only set these goals, 15-ish days ago? It is definitely still possible that you could set a goal that midway through the month you decide, that doesn't actually matter to me. That's okay. That's why we do these mid-month check-ins. So for me, when it comes to my personal health, I always have a goal that has something to do with movement. I always have a goal that has something to do with nutrition. I always have a goal that has something to do with like my mindset, my mental health, but also like the personal and professional development side of things. Because I truly believe when it comes to your health journey, there is a trifecta of movement, nutrition, and mindset. If you can tackle all three of those and have a plan for all three of those, you are going to see way more success with any health goals that you set versus if you only focus on working out, for example. So when it comes to workouts and then hours outside, I've kind of combined both of those in a goal. I'm loving the workout program I'm doing. I've switched over to doing more of a Pilates style workout program this month. Last month I was doing a bar style. This month I'm doing Pilates. Both are incredibly humbling. Literally, majority of it is body weight and I still take breaks, 30-minute workouts. My focus is on my pelvic floor, on energy, on strength, and on mobility. At this point, I am 8 months pregnant, and so I am just really wanting to focus on those things, and these workout programs are helping me get there. And I love that they're only 30 minutes, only 5 days a week. I get weekends off, and I complete a program by the time 3 weeks is up because they're just short and sweet, efficient programs that keep me excited to keep going and not overwhelmed that the program is so long or anything like that. So doing well with that. 100 hours outside. I have not tallied that up, but I know that I'm doing super well. At the start of the month, in order to get 100 hours outside, I had divided 100 by 30. And so basically I needed to spend at least 3.3 hours outside every single day in order to achieve that goal. And I have definitely been doing that. Most days I'm spending 4 and 5 hours outside. Some days are less, but for the most part, I'm doing really well with that. As far as the nutrition side of things, I am just doing the best that I can. I'm trying to get a protein in with every single meal. I definitely am not sleeping as well right now. I have carpal tunnel super bad. That has been something that has come on with pregnancy. And so it is the worst at night, and so my sleep is being affected because I can't sleep and my hands hurt so bad. So through that, I'm finding during the day I'm reaching for carbs more because carbs give us energy, and so I'm just trying to focus on getting that protein in, still getting those veggies in. I'm trying to focus on foods that are like anti-inflammatory because I'm also starting to swell in like my feet and ankles, which again, very common at this point in pregnancy. But if I can do something, I'm gonna do something. I am not the type of person that just sits there and becomes a victim of my circumstances. If I know that there are things that I can be doing to help, I'm going to try. Maybe it won't get me anywhere, but I'm still gonna try. So I've upped my water intake. I was drinking a gallon of water. My goal is now to drink about 150 ounces of water, and or I'm also adding in like 1 Powerade or Gatorade a day, as well as 1 lemon water a day. Like 1 entire lemon, I will squeeze the juice out of it into a glass of water. And then the rest of the time I just drink normal water. So that's one thing. Focusing on the foods that I'm eating, I'm trying to eat foods that have more water in them. So like watermelons and cucumbers, you know, things like that. So I'm trying to consume more of that. I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting protein in just because I know that that fills me up and that's more fueling. But I'm still enjoying things. I'm not like restricting myself by any means. So those are just a couple of things that I'm doing. I also ice my hands every single day. I've started icing my feet. My parents, I've borrowed a little foot massager that they have that I've been doing that on my feet, again, to help with swelling and just really circulation more than anything. So I am doing multiple things to try to combat that and being more of a victor of my situation rather than a victim. So doing well with that, but as far as nutrition goes, that just kind of falls right in there with that. As far as my mindset stuff, I am doing my daily fire every single day with the Growth Day app, and I am doing some reading of personal development, but what I have found is if I'm getting that daily fire in and I'm spending so much time outside, that isn't always happening, but I'm okay. I'm just giving myself some grace with that if I don't get my 10 pages of personal development in each day, that's okay. I'm just doing the best that I can, really, is what it comes down to. Then moving over to daily Bible time, that is something, and like my devotionals and my journaling and all of that, every single morning I get into the Holy Bible app and I do the daily refresh, and I'm always doing a devotional in there. And I'm like, right now I'm on a streak. I don't know, it's like 21 days in a row or something. Not that big of a deal. I've had like over 100 days in a row that I had broken, and it's so sad to see that, but I think it's kind of cool that they show you the streak. But I do that every single morning, so I feel good that I'm always getting that in. That is the very first thing that I do. Like when I wake up, I go straight to that on my phone. I do not go to social media. I do not go to checking email. I do not go to, messages or anything like that. I go straight to that, and I do that during my bathroom routine. So I won't go into any more detail about that, but whatever. So after a long night's sleep, you wake up, you go to the bathroom. That's just the way that it is. And I just utilize that time by looking at that. So I'm not necessarily always getting this Bible time in, but I'm always getting a form of Bible time in, and sometimes I get both. So there's that. As far as greeting my husband at the door and weekly date nights, this is his busiest time of year. So most nights he's not getting home until like 9:30 or 10 o'clock, but I am trying to be there and still greet him, trying to have a dinner laid out for him, ready to go. Sometimes I eat before, sometimes I wait and eat with him and I have a snack earlier. Just depends on how late it's going to be and how tired I am. Making dinner, doing really well with that. My group right now, I have helped multiple gals get started to begin their health and wellness journey this month, and I'm feeling really good about it. We have an awesome deal going on where it's $40 off for an entire year. It works out to be less than $15 a month, and people can work with me, join my wellness community, and I love getting to help women and work with women in that way. So it's just been an honor to help gals get started, to save some money. I'm always about saving money, and I just love that we have this deal going on right now for that. Getting ready to host my mentorship for those that might be interested in doing the business side, like what I do. That will start on June 24th. I have not yet tracked my taxes for the rest of May. I do need to get on that, but I haven't done that yet. I've been successful with my 1 video per week here on YouTube. I haven't done the blogging course yet, but that is something this week, to be completely honest. I woke up yesterday with 3 fever blisters on my lip. It's kind of gross, but my body forever, always growing up, when I got a fever blister, it was either after I had gotten sick or I didn't even maybe realize that I was sick, but I felt more run down prior, and it was my body's way of showing like, hey, we've been fighting off this infection. Well, last week I felt like I was dragging, and coming into this week, I started to feel that way as well. So when I woke up yesterday with not 1, not 2, but 3 fever blisters on my lip, I was like, oh, my body has been doing some work to try to fight off clearly some sort of an infection. So it made me feel a little bit better, because I was like, I've been doing all the same things. Obviously, I know I'm getting further into pregnancy, so being more tired and all of that is probably going to come. And so at first I chalked it up to that, but I was like, but I'm still like, I haven't really changed much. Like I'm still feeling my body well, all these things. Boom. As soon as those popped up, I was like, makes a ton of sense, and I feel so much better now knowing that that's what's been going on. So all that to say, I have been way more just tired, exhausted, and so now that this is kind of like hit, like I've also been like more stopped up and just all of that. So it all just really just makes way more sense. So, but as far as the blogging course, I do plan to make some time next week. I was watching my niece Tuesdays and Fridays, and she is now going to daycare a couple of days a week. So I'll only have her on Fridays. So that opens up an entire another day in my week that I have to be working on things. And so I plan to plug in that blogging course on that day, especially since I no longer have her on those days. So being early, I have struggled with that. Yep, I have had a baby shower, my first baby shower that was held for me. I was late to that. I've been late to like doctor's appointments. I've just been a lot more late here lately, which is disappointing, but I'm aware of it. I'm trying to be better, but I'm just being honest because that's where we are. My life group, I haven't gotten to meet. Last week we did maternity pictures when I would have met with them, so I missed. So next week I should be able to go. It should be no problem. Planning out my work time and all of that, I've still been doing really well with that. I sit down every single day. I think about what are the most important things that need to get done. I sit down and I do them. So that feels really good. Tending to my garden, I do that every single morning. That's actually like the very first thing that I do after I wake up, do my Bible time, I brush my teeth, all of that. I go and I feed my calves, I feed my chickens, I go and water my garden, I water my flowers, all of that. I will say I woke up this morning feeling super defeated because I don't know what or how, I don't know what it is or how it's getting in to my garden. I swear I have like maximum security around my garden and something is getting in there, and it's really random. Like it's not like every night. So in the past I've had that happen, and like it would be like one night they would, whatever it is, would come in, it would eat something. Then the next night it would come back and eat something else. And the next night it would come back and eat something else. Well, this time it's like it'll eat something and then nothing comes for a few days. So I'm like, okay, we must be good. And then all of a sudden something will come and eat a few more things. And I'm just like, it's driving me insane because I have plugged every hole. I don't know what it is or how it's getting in, but I lost another tomato plant, a pepper plant, and an eggplant. And all three of those I had already replaced from the time before. So I woke up feeling just so defeated this morning because I was like, what's the deal? And ironically, I had bought some 7 Dust to sprinkle over some of my plants because I had seen that bugs had started eating on some of the leaves, and I had sprinkled that over all the plants yesterday, and I was like, of course, I finally get that to take care of the bugs, which I think, you know, we're in the clear as far as whatever's getting in here. And then the very night that I had sprinkled that on, I wake up the next morning and I've completely lost entire plants. So I don't know what to do at this point. I'm not gonna replace them anymore because I'm like, this is gonna keep happening, I guess, because I'm not sure what else to do. I literally don't know what else to do to plug up my garden. So it is what it is. Garden woes, you know, whatever. Create a birth plan and packing list for the hospital. I haven't done that yet, but that is something that I want to start to do. I have 2 of my baby showers are done. I have 1 more to go. So once those are done, I've basically just been consolidating everything, and thankfully my parents have allowed me to use a room at their house because I have nowhere to put anything here in the small farmhouse that we live in. Like there's no storage for me to put anything, and I didn't want to clutter up my office and make it stressful for me to come in here and work because there's stuff everywhere. So I've borrowed a room at my parents' house just temporarily where everything is. Once I get done with my final shower here in another couple of weeks, I will go through everything, figure out what I need now, what I don't need yet, and kind of box that up, store that up as compactly as possible that I will, you know, come back and use later on. Like for example, some people have gotten me like really big boxes of like wipes. Well, I don't need the entire huge box of wipes, or like size 3 diapers, for example. So appreciative of those. I know I won't need those yet. So things like that, I want to kind of package up and organize in a way that like when that time comes, I can go back and get more. But then I can also go through and figure out, what do I currently have now? What am I going to need right away? And then what, with everything that I've been given so far, needs to come with me to the hospital, needs to be a part of my packing list, needs to be something that I go ahead and get organized here at our house so that when baby girl is here, I am ready to go. So waiting for that, that's at the end of June, towards the end of June. So once that's done, then I will kind of go through and kind of create all of those lists. So like I said, 2 out of 3 baby showers are done so far, and they have been absolutely wonderful, and I feel so blessed. Everyone that's come, quality time is my love language. So more than anything, I just appreciate the people that have taken the time to come. The gifts are great, but I just appreciate seeing everybody. Once our maternity photos, those have been taken, but once those are back, I'm gonna order some thank you cards with using some of those maternity pictures. I'm gonna order some thank you cards so that I can send those out to everybody that has given me a gift through this journey so far. And then I did start pregnancy classes. We went to the first like childbirth class a couple of nights ago. It's a 2-night thing. Instead of taking up a whole day on Saturday, I opted for the 2-night thing. So we had the first night, the next night will be next Tuesday. And then I've got a breastfeeding class and a baby sleep class too that I'm also going to be doing before the month is up. Still working on kind of doing my social media. Honestly, I'm just having a good time with it. I'm posting things that I enjoy and that feels really good. And then reading my 7 fiction books. So I actually took all of my books back to the library yesterday. I should have waited one more day so that I could physically like hold them up right now, but I will put them up here. So I have already read this month, my goal was 7 fiction books. I shared a video of my TBR, my June TBR. So if you didn't watch that, I'll link that below so you can see it. But so far in the month of June, and when I'm recording this, it's June 13th. So what I have read so far, looking at my Goodreads just to make sure that I'm not lying to you. So Woman Last Seen. So that was so actually, fun fact, I had read Two Dead Wives first, which is the second book in this duology. Both of them are by, obviously, Adele Parks. So I'd read Two Dead Wives first and then realized that I actually had checked out the first book in that duology. They were written as standalone, so it wasn't the end of the world, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to go back and read that. I was like, you know what, I want to figure out the backstory of what happened in Two Dead Wives. I want to figure out what happened, and so I just kind of treated it like a novella. Like sometimes you'll read a novella that like takes you back. If you've read the Throne of Glass series, for example, the way that I read that, the order that I did it, I read the novella like 3rd or 4th in the order of those books. Anyways, so Woman Last Seen by Adele Parks. Read that. I gave that a 4-star rating. It was pretty good. I think Two Dead Wives was better, but it helped like fill in some holes. And I wasn't actually sure, like, did I not like it as much because I read it second? And if I would have read it first, would I have liked it more? I'm not really sure, but I do think that I like Two Dead Wives better than Woman Last Seen. The next one, I'm really big on alternating like thriller type books with like romance or something that's not thriller, basically. And so if you saw my June TBR, again, I talked about that, where I have a combination of like more romance, you know, rom-com type books with thriller type books. Those are honestly my 2 kind of favorite style of books to read. And so I like to alternate them, because if I don't, when I read a thriller and then I go straight to another thriller, sometimes I get them confused of, did this happen in this book or did this happen in the last book? So after I got done reading the more so of a thriller, Woman Last Seen, then I switched over and read The Partner Plot by Christina Forrest. Super good as well. Also gave that a 4-star rating. That was just a fun read. It really was. It was a good pacing. A little bit long, maybe. I feel like they could have wrapped it up a little bit sooner, but I read that in like 2 days. But I did listen/read that one, and I'm really loving when I can find it on Spotify, or if I could find it through, you know, those library checkout apps. If I can find the audiobook, I'm really enjoying being able to listen and read, because that way if I'm like doing dishes or watering the garden or whatever, and I want to be still reading the book, instead of having to hold the book right there in front of me, I could be listening to it and then just catch up and figure out what chapter I ended on when I was listening, and then start reading and pick up and do it that way. So the next one that I have to tell you about, this rocked my world. Okay, so again, I'm back to the thriller, because I read a thriller, then I read a rom-com, and now I'm back to a thriller. I had seen and heard about this a while back. Like, this has been on my TBR for a long time. I found it at the library the last time that I was there, and I was like, you know what? I remember hearing something about this. I could not remember anything about it or what anybody had said about it. The book Jar of Hearts. Oh my gosh, it is by Jennifer Hillier. The front of the book literally says a gripping page turner, and it is the truth. Absolute truth. That book, that book had me like, multiple times I was like, oh, definitely check trigger warnings. I just want to put that out there. Definitely check trigger warnings. But the last time that I was that gripped by a thriller type novel book was when I read Verity. So I gave it 5 stars. Like, it's creepy. Like, there are definitely some parts in there that like made me feel uncomfortable. Like I said, check trigger warnings, but it was a really, really good book. So if you were a thriller lover or whatever, if you've read that, I gave that one 5 stars. I really did. So those are the 3 that I have read so far. I am currently in the middle of The Fellowship. I don't have it in here. The Fellowship of Puzzle Makers. That one's a little bit different. It's just like a, I don't even know what to describe it as. It's just a fiction. It's kind of a mystery, because the main guy, or one of the main characters in the book, is trying to figure out, he was adopted and he's trying to figure out his birth story, and they're puzzle makers. And so the woman is making him like basically solve a puzzle in order to figure out his past, kind of a deal. And it's been pretty good. I also have that though. I've been listening to it some on Spotify and then reading it some. I'm trying to limit how much I'm listening because I have blown through my 15 hours of Spotify listening the last couple of months. Before I even realize it, I've gone through the 15 hours. I hate that there's a limit on there, but I've been trying to just like listen very sparingly and read more so that if there's another book that's on my TBR this month, I can listen to those as well. But yeah, so those are my goals so far this month. That's where we are. Definitely getting 30 minutes of reading in every single day. I'm just so enjoying reading and just so enjoying like scheduling time to do things that bring me joy. I am not about working 24/7. I'm not about hustle, hustle, hustle. I am not about burning myself out. I have done that in the past and I do not want to go back there. But instead, I'm just thoroughly enjoying sitting down, getting my work done, those main tasks that need to be done that day, shutting down, you know, my computer and closing the door to my office and going on and enjoying life by reading fiction, spending time outside, all of that. And it has been so, so nice. I have felt so much more productive, so much more efficient with my time, and just good. I just have been feeling so good about all of that. And I feel like as I'm headed into the final weeks of this pregnancy, but also motherhood, if I can find that balance now and figure that out now, that's going to set me up for so much success whenever baby is here, so that again, I can be working some, but then also know and have practiced for months now how to shut it off and to be done with work and to give my full attention and focus to her. Like, because I do plan on taking some time for maternity leave and whatnot, but I also plan to continue working. I love what I get to do, and I already work from home. I have a very flexible schedule, so there's literally no reason that I can't continue working, but I also want to. Anyways, I'm just really, really thankful that I've taken the time and the thought process and all of that months now, and it's just continuing to be a more well-oiled machine. Now, obviously, once she's here, everything's going to get thrown to the wind and we're going to have to come up with a new routine. I'm very aware of that. I'm not naive enough to think that we're just going to roll on and everything's going to go just super smoothly. I know better than that. But I do love that I'm seeing now that I can sit down and work for an hour or two and be done for the day because I've gotten the things done that need to get done, the needle moving tasks, and then I can go on with doing other things in my life. And I just feel like that's going to be a really, really great precursor to once she's here and being successful with that, with her working while she naps or, you know, whatever. So that is what we've got there. I have not taken a single sip of my coffee, but I will say right before this video is when I made it and it was very hot. So delightful. The way that I make my coffee, I do maybe like 1/4 of a cup of milk, some salt, like sea salt, and then like a, I don't know, 1/2 tablespoon of brown sugar. And then I pour it up with coffee. I do decaf out of my Keurig. And then I just stir it all up and it is delicious. Like, it's not too sweet, but coloring wise, you can see there, coloring wise, it's definitely lighter. Like, it's not like black coffee. I'm not a black coffee fan, but it's really good. And I stopped buying creamers because this works perfectly and I don't have a bunch of additives or the fake sugars or anything like that. So I think that's all I've got for you today. So I hope that you took some time to go through all of your goals, that you kind of checked in with where you were and you're just kind of gave yourself that gut check of like, where are we? Are we making the progress that we need to? And if not, let's make a plan for it and let's crush the rest of this month. So we're only halfway through. We have so much time to get through the rest of this month and so much time to achieve the goals that we set. And I am sending you all the good vibes and love that you absolutely can do this. And yeah, so thank you so much for being here and we will see you in my next video. See ya.